So we got another Arma 3 video here. This is going to pertain to Ace Medical. I'm going to go over a few things and it'll probably add up to a lot of time, though individually they're not that complicated. So first thing to know is all the different medical items that we have through the Ace Medical system and what they do. Then there's what a soldier should be carrying, what a medic should be carrying, what a soldier should do to himself, and what a medic can do, and then how you can actually use Ace Arsenal to actually test those features that a medic can only do and stuff like that. So let's first go over what is for medical supplies. The thing to remember is our current system, we only have medical supplies located in the miscellaneous tab. No, in no particular order, but all in the same vein. We have three different injectors. We have the adenosine, epinephrine, and morphine injectors. These, for the most part, should be medic only. However, the morphine can be used if you're in severe pain, though make sure of your scenario before you do it and let your medic know. The adenosine is to get the heart rate back down after using epinephrine. Epinephrine is to get the heart started, to get somebody to get responsive, things like that. And only after blood has all bleeding has been stopped and you've already supplied them with blood, so that they can actually get their heart started. As far as bandages, there's 4 different types. As far as injectors, I think everybody should carry at least 2, and then obviously the medic should carry more. But 2 of each type of injector. As far as bandages, between 20 and 30 is your standard loadout for everybody, and then the medic can carry more. There's 4 different types here. The thing to remember is basics and elastics go on really quickly. Packing and quick clot are for different wound types, and there's a chart available for Ace Medical to tell you exactly what you need to know. But for the most part, most wounds are going to be either shrapnel or bullet wounds, scrapes and things like that you can do with elastic bandages. But for bullet wounds, my rule of thumb is if it's on a limb, get it tourniqueted, then get a quick clot in there, and then a packing right on top of it. And then that takes care of 90% of your wounds there, and go from there. If it's on your chest, you want to get a bandage on there as quick as possible, so probably either a packing or an elastic bandage, and then maybe if it continues to be a problem, you go ahead and go to a quick clot. But the first thing you want to do is get a bandage on there. As far as blood, I think everybody should carry at least 2 of the 250s. There's actually 3 different types of fluid. There's blood, plasma, and saline. There's a small variance, I believe, as far as what they do, but for the most part, you want to be carrying blood. Like I said, at least 2 of the 250 just to help your medic out. The other medical supplies that is part of Ace Medical are splints and tourniquets. Tourniquets are you're gonna want to carry at least 4. This is to get blood stopped. Crimps off and stops blood loss in the limbs. It can only be used on limbs, so for your head wounds and for chest wounds, you need to get bandages on there ASAP. In scenarios where you hit in a limb, you want to get a tourniquet on there to get that blood stopped, then bandage, and then remove the tourniquet afterwards. As far as splint, that's for fractures and breaks. Obviously, it's primarily going to be. I don't think they actually have a mechanic for anything in the chest for that, so it's going to be limb only. But without a splint, you ain't going to be mobile. So, and make sure you're carrying at least a couple of splints. The other 2 Ace Medical supplies are the personal aid kit and the surgical kit. Those are medic-only items. The personal aid kit or pack like I said, it'll only be used by a medic, but it's only at a medical vehicle or facility. That's the preset for that. That can be changed by the mission editor, but for the most part, that's going to be your the thing that you're going to be dealing with. Surgical kit is only at a medical facility. They essentially do the same thing. They're used to clear trauma. So after taking a wound and being treated, it'll still be blue or have a coloration to it on the screen. That's to show that you've been hit there before, and so your max number of hit points has been reduced. And so this is a way of clearing that. It also it clears most statuses as well, like including blood loss, pain, and a lot of other things. Basically just restores you to normal. So it's kind of like a cheat, hence why it requires the use of a medical facility or vehicle. There's 2 base game medical items as well, the medic kit and the first aid kit. Ace Medical eliminates those, and so they automatically get converted into Ace items in your inventory. So if you were to select this and put this in the inventory, it would automatically getting broken down into a couple of Ace items. In the case of the first aid kit, I believe it's like 2 different bandages and 1 injector and maybe a tourniquet. And the medic kit has a splint and some tourniquets and some bandages and some injectors, and so it has a little bit more. But like I said, those have been eliminated. Main reason why they did that is so for mission editors and for the Zeus, they can quickly use base game characters, and it'll just default them to Ace items, so that when we search them in the inventory, they will have Ace items for us to interact with. So let's go ahead and go over the again, let's do that again. As far as minimum loadout, like I said, 20 to 30 bandages, a couple of injectors of each type, a couple of splints, and 4 tourniquets. You can see all those medical supplies fit on your uniform. That is your base loadout that everybody should be carrying. You can always carry more, but that should be the minimum. As far as a medic, the only thing that you can do as a medic in the field that a regular soldier cannot do is give blood. So as a soldier, our current system, the way it's set up, the only thing that you can't do to yourself is give yourself blood. Again, standard practice: when you get hit, tourniquet, bandage, and possibly morphine. And then if it's broken, put a splint on it. And then that would be using the medical system here. As far as the loadout of a medic, basically just fill up on supplies, and don't be afraid to bring too much, as long as you're still within the 33 to 40 kilos. That is your job, so obviously you want to have quite a bit of the different supplies, and just learn from different ops. If you end up not using a lot of different certain items, maybe reduce that and carry something else. You do want to carry a basic loadout of supplies, because you are a combat medic, therefore you still need to be combat effective. Unlike my previous video where I was talking about the bag being dropped, remember, you are a medic. You need your medic supplies, so and you're not required to carry other mission critical items because that is not your job. So all your medical supplies can comfortably go in your bag, and you can use that as well. Now, I would always carry a pack and a surgical kit just in those scenarios where you can use them. You can get the guys treated. So let's go ahead and go over how where do you go to change the settings so that you can actually treat these soldiers. Now, normally you can just rock up to and shoot one of these guys and start treating them. However, they have a Ace AI system where they'll actually automatically start treating themselves, as well as the restrictions on medics as far as being able to give blood. So you can't do all the options normally. So you actually would go to the add-on options here. You'd go to Ace Medical. You'd want to disable the medic AI. You can see I already have that changed. This little thing here would actually reset it back to the default settings. The other thing you want to change is go down to treatment. And here's a couple of things that some information here to realize. You can only clear trauma after stitching, and stitching requires either the use of a pack or a surgical kit. So that's why you can't fully finish somebody off in the field. As far as the this is something I was saying on one of my other videos. Shared equipment, you do use your patient's equipment first, which is why they should always carry at least a few different supplies, even if they're not supposed to be using them. That allows you to use their supplies. This is where it gets into who's able to use what. So I've currently had it set so that I can use a pack anywhere, whereas normally that's medic only and medical vehicle or facility. And then I go down to here to IV transfusion, and I set that to anyone as well. That way I can use that for testing purposes. So we're going to go ahead and hit OK because those settings are already done. Now, the AI thing, once you've actually changed that feature, that will not implement until you restart. So you actually have to click here to restart and reload ACE, so that would go into effect. But I've already done that, so I don't have to do that. And we're just going to walk up to one of these guys, and we're going to shoot him in the leg. Poor guy. And we're going to look at him. He's in severe pain. He's bleeding. Let's go ahead and go to the wound. He's got a large avulsion. We're going to go ahead and get a tourniquet on that as soon as we can, because we want to get that blood stopped. Alright, he's in severe pain and a large avulsion. So, like I said, my standard theory is tourniquet, quick clot powder, and a packing bandage to pack it with gauze. And we'll see what that did. Okay, we're good. No more bandages, so we'd go ahead and remove it. And like I said, this is something that he could have done for himself as soon as he was hit. He could have taken cover, got a tourniquet on there, got a couple of bandages, and he's good to go. And he can either give himself a morphine or call for a medic at this point. So he's lost some blood, so this is where the medic would come in. He'd come over and go, okay, you've lost some blood. I want to go ahead and give you a 500 milliliter. Some is about a medium wound, so we want to go ahead and give him a 500. Now, when you're transfusing blood, it takes a second to set up the IV. And even once the IV has been set, we'll see on the list here that he's still receiving that because it has to slowly enter. So we're not going to give him morphine while he's receiving blood, because we don't at least without checking his blood pressure. Let's see. He's got high blood pressure because he's probably in pain because he's been hit. So we're going to go ahead and give him a morphine to get rid of that pain so he can get back in the fight, because having severe pain sucks. So he's been treated, and we can move on. Now, in instances where there's multiple guys, like I said, a lot of tourniqueting and bandaging himself is something he could have done, and we would need to then come over, do a quick check if we had, and then if somebody else was wounded, be like, okay, keep an eye on yourself. I'm going to check this next guy, because we don't need to worry about the blood or anything else as long as he's still in the fight, and we could go over to somebody else. So this other dude, he's been hit 3 times. He's been hit in the leg, the arm, and the chest. And then we're going to go ahead and check him. So as far as chest, he's just been bruised a lot. He's got a large avulsion here and been bruised in the arm. So we need to get the tourniquet on his leg. Get that blood stopped. And we're going to double check his other wounds. Alright, so he's been bruised in both arms. So he's he's lost some blood. He's still got that large avulsion. So, like I said, quick rule of thumb, put some clotting powder to start getting that blood to clot, and then we'll hit it with a packing bandage to get it packed with gauze. And we'll see what that did. No injuries. He's still in severe pain. He's lost some blood. We're gonna go ahead and first we'll remove the tourniquet just because. And again, this is something that he could have assessed himself. We can see the different colorations of where he's been hit. But we're going to give him... Now, he was only wounded, but he had a large wound, but he's only been wounded once, so we're going to only give him a 500. If he had been bleeding quite a bit, or if it's up to lost a lot of blood, I'm going to give him an 1,000. But we're going to go ahead and give him a 500. He's in severe pain. We do need to check his blood pressure. Normal blood pressure, so he can take a morphine and be fine. So we're going to go ahead and give him one. And we're going to hit it in the leg where he's hurt. Hopefully that'll hit the most pain there. and we'll have to wait to see how that affects. And then we come back, we're like, okay, this guy was fine. Let's go check with you again. So other than being hit in the leg, he is fine, no pain. Now the thing, remember, with morphine, it does wear off, so just keep an eye on that. You know, it was given to him 3 minutes. I believe it lasts for like 30. But he's fine. You can see the blue. That means he has trauma. So his overall hit points, even in that area, have been reduced. So he's more likely to get wounded and get a more severe wound there. So this is where, if you were at a facility, you could actually use the personal aid kit to remove the trauma. I'll go ahead and do that real quick, just to show you what that would look like. And now he is fine. No trauma. He's been completely treated. And we go over to this gentleman here who's been hit a few times. He's still under the loss in blood. He's still receiving some, and he's got 4 different traumas on his body. Okay, so he's got all the blood that he needs now, and so he'll be fine. Let's go ahead and check blood pressure just to be sure. Yeah. Well, so it says low, but that's because we gave him morphine, more than likely. Which is why you don't want to give morphine to somebody that already has low blood pressure, or if they're not in severe pain, because it can knock them unconscious. But that's just been a preview as far as what you can do in the ACE medical system to treat yourself, as well as what your medic can do for you. And these are all the different things that you can do. So, like generally speaking, if you're not a medic, you are not able to use this advanced treatment tab. You'll only be able to use medication and the bandaging, but you can do everything else. Now, there's 3 different things you can do here to check responses. There's the head checking. You can check for a response if they're unconscious to see what's going on there. The chest, you'd be actually able to do CPR if they have no pulse after you've checked for a pulse. And for the limb, that's where you can check the blood pressure. Now, as far as the CPR and epi, that's only if they're unresponsive. You hit them with a, or if there's no pulse, you hit them with an epi to try and all an epi does, as far as game mechanics, is it increases the chance of them regaining consciousness or regaining pulse. It's not a foolproof thing. Same with CPR. You kind of have to keep doing it until it takes effect. You also don't want to have to give epis back to back, because I don't think they stack, and they can be an issue if you do so. But that's basically all that you really need to know. This is ACE Medical, and yeah, that's where we're at. Just an overview. Carry about 20 to 30 bandages, 2 of every injector, a couple splints, 4 tourniquets. That should be the basic loadout. When you're hit, first thing you need to do is get that blood stopped, either with a tourniquet or a bandage on your torso or head. Get the blood stopped, and then possibly splint if you require it. Get the tourniquet removed. If you're in severe pain, you can go ahead and take a morphine shot. Otherwise, wait for your medic to come over and give you some fluid. And that's where we're at. I keep saying that. But yeah, that's ACE Medical, and that's all I wanted to talk about. Thanks for watching.